From your official UK station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Gameday.
And they get to do it again today. Kentucky versus Alabama, set for 8 o'clock tonight, and we're getting you ready for it. Welcome into BBN Game Day. I'm Christy Thomas, and for the very first time, doing a show with Eli.
It's great. Yeah. We were talking. We weren't sure if we've done a football BBN Game Day. But that was such a long time ago. Feels good to be here, and looking forward to the show and getting through it. Of course, Eli Gain here. We got Jack Goose Givens and Riley Welch are going to be joining us today to preview the Crimson Tide. And Christy, should be a good one tonight,
It should be, yeah. Head coach Nate Oates has made Alabama basketball synonymous with three-point shooting, but these two teams are extremely close in terms of points per game, with the Tide averaging 81, the Cats averaging 82. So let's take a deeper look now at the numbers that you need to know. The Tide is currently 10th in the country in total scoring offense. Kentucky's 9th. Alabama is 7th in three-point attempts, taking on average about 33s per game. That's a lot, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Kentucky typically throws up about 19, but here's a big key. Alabama is number 282 in the country in terms of three-point percentage, connecting on 31% from deep, but giving up a decent amount too, barely cracking the top 100 in three-point defense. They're allowing its opponents also to hit about 31% from three. I got to be honest with you, Eli, that them only hitting 31% is a bit of a surprise for me.
No kidding, especially for how good they've been the last couple of seasons. And when you rely on the three ball that much, sometimes your resume is going to look like this. You have games where you're going to beat opponents that you probably shouldn't have beat, but you're also going to lose to teams that you shouldn't lose to. And Alabama just seems to really be playing to the level of their competition this year, Christy. And when that three ball isn't falling, you see it right there. I mean, it speaks volumes.
Well, I think what this means is you really don't know what Alabama team you're going to get, so just bring it. All right, well, Kellan Grady has no doubts about which version of this Alabama team will show up against the Cats.
I expect them to be great on Saturday. They just had a big win, and just to be blunt, we're coming to town, and a lot of times that creates an electric environment.
These guys seem to like that electric environment, don't mind it, but I think they also have come to expect it, right? You heard Cal say it earlier this week. It's Kentucky.
Yep, every game that they play, there's an opposing team. It's going to be their Super Bowl.
Right.
And, of course, I mean, I got to say, though, how about Kellan Grady being one of the coolest guys that has stepped up over the last couple of weeks? Not only what he does on the court, but what he does when he talks to the media, how professional he is and how calm, cool, and collected he is to get his guys ready and really rally. It's great to have one of those veterans that are on this year's team. And for more on tonight's game, we are now happy to be joined by our very classic, our expert analyst, Jack Goose Givens, going to be joining us here as we get him set up for our shot. And there he is. And now, Jack, let's talk about this real quick here. Alabama, very good shooting the three ball. Yep. What's going to be key into getting a stop and avoiding an upset on the road in Tuscaloosa?
Hey, you're shooting 31%. I'd say shoot all you want from out there, but that's not Kentucky's approach, of course. They're going to have to keep getting good play from fringe guys who are different from the ones who usually score. What about Brooks the last couple of games? Back-to-back 20-point ball games, and you see the variety in the shots that he's taking. I think Coach Calipari would have taken this from him a long time ago. What about this fall away to beat the shot clock, man? That is confident basketball. Kentucky's been waiting and waiting and waiting for Brooks to put together a stretch of games. Let's hope he can keep that going.
All right, well, what about Lance Ware? This guy has really earned a lot of quality minutes lately. He doesn't score like Oscar can, but he's in the mix for just about everything. He's rebounding, he's playing tough, he's hustling. Jack, this guy's really coming along.
Yeah, if you think about it, and if you go points or rebounds per minute, he doesn't get what Oscar gets, but man, does he ever take advantage of the time that he is out there. And that is a key for a guy coming off the bench. Coaching staff gets more and more confidence putting you in there. When you're active as he is, they're not going to run any plays for you, big guy. You have to go find yours, and that's what he's been doing.
I just feel like he's a guy that really all of a sudden it seems like the game's really coming together for him. The light bulb's going on.
And everyone's saying he's starting to accept his role too, and I think that's also a big key when you have players on a team that has so much talent. If you can just accept the fact that you can come off the bench and give you tough minutes, you're going to do a good job and be accepted. So even when the stars aren't having their best game, we've seen other guys step up. Of course, Ty has scored in single digits in the last 4 games. Has been nursing an ankle injury a little bit. Not like him, but Xavier Wheeler, 0 of 8 against Vandy. But even when their shots haven't been falling, Goose, Kentucky has, for the most part, found a way to get the victory. What does that tell you about this specific group of players?
Well, it tells me that teams are having a difficult time preparing for this Kentucky team. And especially now that Brooks, I know I keep bringing him up, but you know I've been crying for him to step up and be the man way back early in the season. When he's doing that, he's great. Davion Mintz is playing great basketball. He's coming off the bench, and he is good for a bucket now that he's seeing it so much better. But he is also a guy who's going to work hard on defense. He gets that key rebound, it seems, every game. Just one that you have to have, he finds a way to get it. So these fringe players are the ones who are stepping up in the absence of Ty and Wheeler when he has that kind of game. But let me point out Wheeler, he's still getting his assists, so he's still been very effective.
Okay, I'm asking you a loaded question, or at least I think this is a loaded question. What's more important today, Goose? Right, hitting all the three-pointers, defending the three-pointers, or both? I'm guessing both.
Well, yes, both, but I think Kentucky is going to have to step out and defend the three-point line, but just simply because they put so many up. So they don't make a lot of them, but just think if they get hot and they make 11 or 12 of those 30 they take, maybe more, it's going to be a long evening for Kentucky. We'll have to make some ourselves, but that's our game. Yeah. I feel pretty confident now that we're going to make some three-point shots, but it's all about the three-point line and which team is making them that's going to win this one.
Kellan Grady said earlier today, too, or at least on Friday, he loves hitting the three-pointer in front of the home crowd at Rupp, but he loves silencing the crowd on the road when he hits them.
I like it
on
too.
The road
yeah,
too.
I do too. I like silencing the crowd. That is awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely. Goose, thank you so much.
Thanks,
we appreciate
guys.
it as always. All right, well, within the last year, Riley Welch has gone from a player on the UK basketball team to a coach.
We get his perspective on this year's group of Wildcats, plus his scouting report on the Crimson Tide. That's next on BBN Game Day.
This is BBN Game Day, sponsored by Central Bank, CHI St. Joseph Health, Coca-Cola, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Kroger, Papa John's, and Toyota.
Since opening our doors 75 years ago, Central Bank has made big changes, like the region's first Saturday hours, online ATMs, and even the area's very first vault. But one thing will never change is the community-minded mission of our founder. Garvis D. Kincaid believed that what's good for the bank should also be good for its community. True back in 1946 and equally true today. So, come see how we've grown. Central Bank, central to you. Member FDIC.
St. Joseph Health has expanded its affiliation with Cleveland Clinic Cancer Center. As a leader in cancer screenings, diagnosis, and treatment for more than 40 years, St. Joseph Health continues to bring world-renowned cancer care to our communities. We'll now be able to reach more Kentuckians with highly specialized care, expertise, and convenience for you and your family. Whether you are newly diagnosed, want a second opinion, or would like to schedule a cancer screening, give us a call at 844-940-HOPE.
There are moments in our lives that change everything, where hard work pays off with a burst of opportunity. That's why each year, Kentucky Farm Bureau and its county offices across the state help raise and give away hundreds of thousands of dollars in college scholarships. You see, Kentucky Farm Bureau does more than just insure homes and autos. We help ensure that more Kentuckians have a chance to achieve their dreams. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
You're watching BBN Game Day.
Welcome back into BBN Game Day.
Riley Welch has seen two very different versions of this Kentucky basketball team. Last season as a player and this season as a member of the coaching staff.
He talked with our Maggie Davis about this year's group of Wildcats and today's matchup.
Obviously coming off of a win over Vanderbilt, Davion Mintz had 21 points. I heard a stat he was actually the 6th player this season to score 20 or more points in a game, and I think that sort of diversity of scoring and that versatility has really become this team's biggest strength. We've seen it obviously in games. Is that something you see in practice?
100%. And now Practice is a little bit different. We don't do as much 5-on-5 as we're nearing the end of the season. So it's more individual work, guys finding rhythm on their own time, and then getting in games and making the most of your opportunities. And it was, funny you mentioned 6, that scored 20 points. Kellan shoot around, stopped and told everyone we had 7 guys score 17 plus this year. That's hard to account for when you have 7 guys who can go for 20 points on any given night. And, what makes our team dangerous. And the coolest thing about this team is, Dave had been going through a little slump, and he had a great game last night, and everyone was genuinely happy for him. No one on this team is envious of other people's success. Like, when Keon had 27, they dumped water on him. It's a good atmosphere, and the camaraderie amongst the guys is really special, and that's why we're able to be so successful.
Davion Mintz talked after the game, saying that he actually got to meet a fan after the Kansas game when he was going through that sort of slump. Told a really sweet story about seeing how much he meant to the Big Blue Nation. That sort of inspired him to keep going, obviously. Ended up with him scoring 21 points in the next game, so it's clearly working. Riley, you've been on both sides of sort of the fan levels of engagement the last 2 years here. This season, seeing how much the fans have been able to connect and get to know and support this team, have you seen that make a difference with these guys?
First off, winning versus losing is always going to be huge, especially at a place like Kentucky. We expect to compete for national championships, and so what happened last year, was kind of a aberration and not something we're used to. And I understand why the fans weren't happy. We weren't happy. Having our guys be able to have success and then see how the fans will embrace you when you have those success is just really special and awesome. And I'm really disappointed some of the guys on last year's team never got to really feel that. But I'm glad guys like Davion, who had never experienced it before, get to experience it now, how cool and how special it is.
Taking on the Crimson Tide down in Tuscaloosa, what do you expect to see out of Alabama?
Well, Alabama's a very well-coached team. They have 3 really good kind of point guard combo guards in Jaden Shackelford, J.D. Davidson, and Javon Quinterly. Then they have Keon Ellis at the wing, who's played really well, and they have a 5-star recruit, Charles Bediako, who's getting better as the season goes on. Very good rim protector. Everyone talks about Alabama and the success they had last year based on their offensive philosophy and their use of analytics. But what they did so well was they defended. And that's what Nate Oates kind of preaches, is no matter how we're playing offensively, our defense doesn't change. Whether they're making shots, missing shots, they're going to, be physical, play hard, and play to their concepts. And so this year they haven't shot the ball extremely well across the board. Their numbers are just down. But they've shown throughout the season they're capable of beating any team in the country on any given night. So they have the talent to beat us. They have the ability to beat us, but obviously, we're very confident in our own abilities. We just have to, play to our game plan and play up to our standards.
All right. I love getting the scouting report from you like that. That was great, Riley. Now, before I let you go, I have one big, important question. Are you team suits or sweats on the sidelines for the coaching staff? We
do look nice, and it's fun putting on a suit, but just in terms of practicality, packing a suit versus packing, a pair of chinos and a quarter zip, packing a suit is a lot more difficult. And I've never really worn suits before this year, so I had to buy a suit, I had to buy dress shoes. It's been a process, but now I do have a suit, I have dress shoes, I have a belt, so I'm all squared away for whatever the actual important members of staff would like to do.
That's awesome. On the come up.
It's
when
adulting.
you get your first suit. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, thanks to Riley for taking the time to do that.
That's growing up. That's all that is. All right, well, coming up, we know we have to talk a little football, too.
Yeah,
2 new Wildcats have joined the class of 2022, and an incoming freshman is double dipping between football and track. All that right after the break.
Tune in before every game for the Don Franklin Countdown to Tip-Off Show with Dave Baker and Jack Givens, featuring conversations with other former UK stars and Coach Cal. It airs 90 minutes prior to game time on the UK Sports Network radio affiliates or through the UK Athletics app.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose. We love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
At Kroger, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales for prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Kroger Delivery is always fresh because we check our produce at every stop on its journey to you. We're fresh every day, so shop any way. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You're watching BBN Game Day.
Hard to believe, National Signing Day for football across the country. That was earlier this week.
Yeah, it didn't feel like as big of a deal as it was, in the fall.
Yeah.
But now here we are in the spring, and it's now you're just starting to think like, well, how's everything going to turn out? And well, there wasn't really big splashes the other day with Kentucky in terms of getting a couple players, but we do have some new Wildcats. Kentucky added 2 more to that class of 2022. You see them here. We're going to start with, this is Noah Matthews, a defensive lineman out of Delaware. Picked Kentucky over Illinois this week after being recruited primarily by Brad White. The 6'6",
I'll take it,
6'6" defensive end, second highest rated recruit out of Delaware, and coming in at a position of need for Kentucky, a big development project.
Yeah, well, then there's Alabama wide receiver transfer Javon Baker, 21 games over 2 seasons at Alabama, totaling 9 catches for 116 receiving yards and 1 score. Really probably might be an instant impact guy for this offense, especially considering how things have changed in that wide receiver room.
Absolutely, and here's a look at the updated class rankings with Noah Matthews' commitment. No change to the top 5 in the SEC. It's still Alabama, Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, and then it's the Wildcats. Now keep in mind, these are based on just the high school signees, and it doesn't take into account, I should say, Kentucky's high-end transfers like Baker. Overall, the Cats are 14th nationally. Mark Stoops' best class.
I'll take it all day, every day. Well, Baker's not the only dynamic wide receiver coming in. Jordan Anthony is in this class, too. He's a speedster. Take a look at this kid. He has the country's fastest, I did say the country's fastest 60-meter sprint time and planning to play football and track. Well, here's why. Like, this kid can just flat run.
Yeah.
We asked him why. He literally said, why not? I'm like, yes, sir. He's also excited about the opportunity to play for Liam Cohen and with Will Levis.
I like all of it. The passing game, the schemes, like everybody focused on Wandale. Well, they knew that Wandale was going to get the ball, but they still couldn't stop it. So it's just his first year there. So just us, the receiver group that we got, should be great when we come. Will Levis, he's a dog, an animal when it comes down to quarterback. I'm glad he came back because we needed that leadership. And he been there now. He been there to know what to do to get to the big stage.
Well, he's definitely saying all the right things
That's
before
right.
he comes onto campus. All right, former Wildcat Marquand McCall suited up for the East-West Shrine Bowl out in Vegas this week. Had a great game. Check out this stop on 4th and goal. Bully blows the play up, something we're used to seeing a lot of here in Lexington. He's also been invited to the NFL Combine. All good news for McCall as the NFL Draft gets closer.
Wishing him the best, of course. Darian Kennard, Luke Fortner, and Yusuf Corker are preparing for their chance on the NFL Network. The Senior Bowl kicks off today at 2:30. Josh Paschal was invited, but he did have to withdraw. But it's good to see the Cats are still well represented in Mobile, Alabama. A really, really great opportunity for these guys, Eli.
Excited for all of them. All right, coming up, we talked with the head coach of Kentucky's brand new team on campus.
Plus, a look back at 50 years of Title IX, narrated by one of BBN's favorites. Hear from Sydney McLaughlin right after the break.
A special thank you to our cornerstone partners, Central Bank, the official bank of UK Athletics, and Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized New York-style slices. I mean, look at that crust. That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not. But I ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York-style pizza from Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose. We love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Welcome back into BBN Game Day. Time now for This Week for the Wildcats, sponsored by Toyota. And let's start with the newest team on campus. How about this? Yeah. Today is the first chance you have to see the brand new Kentucky stunt team in action. The squad has their blue-white scrimmage this afternoon inside Memorial Coliseum. We caught up with interim head coach Blair Bergman, and here's his message to the BBN.
1:30, Memorial Coliseum, be there. Our scrimmage, you know, it's the first chance the public gets to see what stunt is. So we want to make it fun. It's not going to be ran as a true game would, you know, where you're going from quarter to quarter to quarter. We want to have some fun with it. We want, you know, the crowd to kind of see what it's about, learn about it, you know, as the game's going on. We're going to educate them, right? So our MC, he'll be like, this is what happened, and this is why this team got the point.
All right, the women's basketball team is back in action at home on Sunday for their first game in a week. It's Kentucky versus Texas A&M. Tip-off set for noon inside Memorial Coliseum, or you can watch it on ESPN2. The Cats are coming off 2 tough road losses, so it should be good for this team to get back in front of the BBN. And this one is the Play for K Pink game, also celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
The celebrations have already begun. Over 300 female athletes from over a dozen Kentucky programs were honored at halftime of the UK Vandy game on Wednesday night, kicking off a year-long celebration of the 50th anniversary of Title IX.
And our friends with UK Sports Video put together this short look back at the last half-century, narrated by Sydney McLaughlin.
In 1972, Title IX was signed into law. Access has changed. Opportunities have grown. The standard is no longer token access or just having some opportunities. The standard is what we make it to be. Renewed commitment to absolute equality. And yes, in 50 years, we've reached milestones.
The first SEC championship in the school's history.
Broken records.
Most decorated gymnast in NCAA history.
Shattered glass ceilings.
Best season in Kentucky history. A win at the World Series.
And rewritten history books.
Sydney McLaughlin and her Kentucky Wildcats.
That was just the beginning.
Champion, Jensen Castle.
Kentucky has won their first team title in history.
It is Jasmine Camacho Quinn dominating.
Mary Tucker will take gold.
1 second, long three-pointer.
For the championship, Allie Stumbler leads Kentucky to their first ever title.
At Kroger, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales for prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Kroger Delivery is always fresh because we check our produce at every stop on its journey to you. We're fresh every day, so shop any way. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We depend on the internet for so much these days, but not all Kentuckians have access to reliable broadband service. That's why Kentucky Farm Bureau joined the American Connection Project, and we now provide free Wi-Fi access from the parking lots of nearly 200 KFB locations across the state. You see, Kentucky Farm Bureau does more than just insure homes and autos. We help ensure that more Kentuckians stay connected. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Did you know Toyota actually spends $1 million every hour of every day on R&D?
It's all part of an even larger $30 billion investment to design and build vehicles in the USA.
Made in America means something to Toyota, like 176,000 jobs and over 30 million Toyotas built right here in the USA.
And for over 20 years, Toyota's electrified vehicles have been leading the way towards a better tomorrow.
The more you know, the more you'll drive Toyota.
Let's go places.
Insanity on both ends of the floor. Look at Jacob Toppin getting the block. And then we're in transition. Yee! Davion Mintz up to tie Washington, laying it in and one. Deserving of Coke's Play of the Week.
Heck yeah, that was good from start to finish. I liked it. Followed by a really nice game at Kansas.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in for another edition.
This is BBN Game Day, sponsored by Central Bank, CHI St. Joseph Health, Coca-Cola, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Kroger, Papa John's, and Toyota.